All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And this is I was watching this video here that was done earlier today by the elder apostle Ramlab, and he was going into, as you can see, the stage is set, the old grid is falling apart. I got about halfway through. Lord's will, I'll finish it. But as I was also meditating on a topic, he threw out a few out there, so I picked one of them. All right, and that's where I got the title, America is at its tipping point. All right, which is exactly where it is. Okay, when you look at all the things that America is facing right now, and not just America, the world. However, slack here. All right, really the whole world. However, America is that whore that sits upon the scarlet colored beast, and that beast is pretty much what the power structure right now. Okay, so when you start to see these things happening in this place, the problems that you're starting to hear are sounding like problems that countries that are what they would call underdeveloped or third world countries, they would be facing at large, not really having a immediate fix. All right. But over the years, Americans have become very lax and spoiled because whenever there's a problem here, it gets fixed just like that. If the power goes out, it gets fixed just like that. Okay. If the water goes out, they gets fixed just like that. There's a fire somewhere, fixed. A store runs low, whatever the case is, they're always able to bring something and fix it and come on the news and tell you, yeah, we see what's going on, but we're sending in this and we're sending in that, and they always have supplies to be able to handle hard times. But now what you're starting to see is like the elder said, the old grid is falling apart. So now you're starting to hear, and I've been seeing a lot of notifications that say you may hear of a certain company and they'll say that they're slashing their outlook, or their forecast because they weren't able to meet what they originally thought the amount of production they originally thought they were going to meet. All right, and it's like a pattern, and you're starting to see how the production of these the production of by these companies is starting to wane faster and faster, and it's just like everything is just being let go so it can drop and crash. Okay, because that chaos is going to be momentum to accept the NWO, to look to change. See, there's a reason why these elites, now you wonder, well, if they know about the that people are starting to wake up to the truth about their NWO, how is it that they're coming out so boldly, dressing like left-hand satanic priests and telling you straight up, this is what we're going to do? A carbon footprint tracker, building the electronic devices and stuff like that, inside of inside of your bodies. Okay, and all of these things. How is it that they're coming out so boldly saying that? That's because they're banking on, when this thing collapses and they crash this thing, they're banking on the chaos to be so bad that it'll drive people to that NWO and they'll accept it. All right. The scriptures talk about them being deceived by the miracles. And when you look at miracles, all the examples for the most part that you have of miracles are in a good sense. People don't say it's a miracle when something bad happens. And what do I mean by that? Here it is. You're you're hoping, right? Somebody's in a coma and you're hoping that they wake up. I'll give you two scenarios. If the person wakes up, oh, it's a miracle he woke up. If he dies, nobody says, oh my gosh, it's a miracle he died. No. So in most cases, if not all, miracles, although you have different instances of it, is usually when you have something that seems very unlikely or otherwise impossible, but then something else happens that then makes it a possibility, usually in a good light, or what may be perceived to be a good light. So when you have this chaos and food shortages and pestilences and all of these things out here, and they tell you, well, this is the condition you're facing, and we have a way to solve this. We have this NWO that can make things better and alleviate this. But I mean, yeah, it's up to you. You want to do it or you don't. And once they get the majority of people, they'll be able to have that mandates. If you notice, with this Vanessa, right? They didn't mandate it right away, because first they had to get people. They had to start getting people, and now once the majority has already gotten it, then there's the resistance for a mandate on that, wouldn't be as high. Okay, because majority of people are already with it. They already got it. Nevertheless, another video that I saw earlier. This is from the elder Yashawamba's page. All right, his alternative page 2 through and info. All right, and he posts very good clips. And on here there's a video right here, hot times ahead. Okay, and I'm gonna play it real quick. It's about 2 minutes long, and you can hear what the consensus, or like the sentiment, the attitude about this place and what's happening is. All right, and that's why, like the elder apostle had thrown a title out about America being at its tipping point. That's what you're seeing. All right, after whatever's about to take place, quote unquote America, the America you knew is going to be gone one way or another. All right, because it's going to first head in the direction of the NWO, but we know that according to biblical prophecy, they're not going to be able to fulfill their agenda. However, they're going to try, and they're going to get people, and the world is going to start to change from what you're used to, as you're already seeing since 2019 up until now. And it's going to continually change and continually change. So America is no more. We're at the point where they're bringing it down, and that's a part of their goal. The only thing that's really standing in their way is, the American economy and society and these different various governments having their own ideals. They don't want that. All right. So now that they got the perfect storm to crush all of that and centralize it and rebuild it in their, or transition it, I should say, in the image that they want, they're not trying to let go. They send Biden on there, they send his ass there and say, yo, go look like you care, and tell them a few words. This is what they want, and you're gonna hear this guy say it. All right, so I'm gonna play real quick.
We look like by November. We are what do you think we look like by November? We are in a very, very different world by the end of the summer. I pray that I am wrong about the timing. But if it doesn't happen this summer, it's going to happen, because all of these things, the gas, it's not Putin's fault. This is something, this is a crisis they have been wanting to have. They want you to pay $10 a gallon for gasoline. They want the fleet to age out. Did you see? Americans are driving older cars than ever before. Our fleet is older than ever before in American history. What does that mean? Well, if you can't afford to buy a car in the next few years, once you can afford to buy a new car, you're going to buy an electric one. So that problem solves itself with gas, because you'll only have a choice of electric soon. The war, we have been egging them on, and now we are beating the war drums like nobody's business. Food, we knew that was a problem. That's going to lead us to war, possibly. Migration, what are we doing at the border? All of these things are intentional. All of these things are... Did you vote for this? Did you vote for a dramatic transition, something that America is going to be so much better off for in the long run? Did you vote for this gas price? Because it's intentional.
There you go. So, as you could hear, he's going into it and he's mentioned, look, it's very obvious that things are not going well. Okay, not especially not for America, and that's given because this place is going to get hit the hardest with all the wickedness, all right, that comes forth and that is still coming forth out of this place, all right. But as you can see, all the signs are pointing to a transition. In order to transition, you have to do away with the old. I always say this is like renovating. If you have a building and you want to renovate it, how are you possibly going to build up the new building when the old building is still standing? If there's certain parts you want to change, that means you got to take away, right, the old and then replace it with the new. Now, if you're dealing with a building, how do you take away the old? You got to break it down. You have to destroy it. And then that means that whoever lives in that house, they can't access the benefits of that house while it's destroyed, at least until the new one comes. So that means that there are hardships that this place is facing that people are gonna have to go. That's why they talked about the transition being painful, right? If you say you owned a house and that was your only house, you had nowhere else to go, and now they have to work on your house. There's some renovation that needs to go on in there. They got to fix the pipes. They got to basically break down the joint and rebuild it. What's going to happen to you? Once they start to break it down, you're going to lose access to your bathroom, to your kitchen, to your living room, to your TV, and all of your bed. So you might need to sleep in your car. I'm just throwing out a hypothetical scenario here. So in the whole time, the whole process of transitioning from what your old house was to your new house, you're going to be going through the hardship of lacking, not having access to that until they bring that new one. So when what they're trying to do is replace the old food system, the old, like the guy just mentioned, from moving to electric cars. You know what comes with electric cars? The ability for them to control your car. All right, they actually said that they want to add in a built-in feature where they can shut down your car. You think you ain't getting nowhere. If they don't give you permission to drive, you ain't driving. So electric system, the financial system, every all parts of it, they are going to have that control over. And so they're taking down the current way that those things run so that they can now revamp it and bring a new way that those things are going to run. And they're actually changing the world right now. And it's crazy how people are still going about normally as if, I understand that, yeah, you got to work. Of course, you still have to do your day to day, but it's what's in your mind. It's your perception, your mental. So we're still, yeah, if you work, you're still working, right? You're not going to say, oh, hell, things are happening now, so I'm not going to do anything. That's not wise. But in your mind, yo, this shit is really going down. Look how gas prices are going up. Look how inflation is hitting this place. Look at all of these things happening at once. And it's only getting worse. And as you heard him say, he said that by the end of the summer, we're going to be in a completely different world. So things are getting worse progressively. Things are worse now than they were in 2021, than they were in 2020. Now, people may say, oh, well, there was the CVPD going on, but now it's starting to die down. You ain't seen nothing yet. It's only going to get worse as time goes on, because imagine you get into the hottest, we're about to hit the hottest part of the fire. The more you move, right, the closer you get, the hotter it gets. So the closer we get, the harder things are going to be. And this place we're looking at is actually circling the drain. It literally, we're witnessing the fall of an empire right before our eyes. Yes, this is history in the making. And Lord willing, if we're of the elect, we're going to be able to make it through this, to be able to tell about it, to have lived through the most wicked kingdom and to have been delivered from it. Okay, so now I want to get into a few scriptures. This is the book of, like I said, since the elder apostle he threw this out, he quoted a few precepts, and so I took that, and then I'm going to use it. Now this is the book of Ecclesiastes 9 and 11. Yeah, because hey, we all looking for Sometimes the spirit just hits you, and you just get that inspiration where anything could be inspiring for a lesson. And then sometimes you gotta really dig deep. You look for some articles, meditate, look, pray. And sometimes as you're watching a video, you might do a response, or you might hear something that's said, a statement or a question or a precept that might trigger something. So we're all constantly looking for information that we can use to edify. So when you get it, you take it. That's it. It says, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, Salakia, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all. All right. And applying that to the various different empires, they all like Apostle Ramlab said, they all had their time and chance to rule. And now we're at the ending, all right, the tipping point. We're at the ending of this time that America has had to rule. It's fulfilling its last few seconds, so to speak. But the ending of this place, since this place got raised up so high, its fall is going to be great, and it's going to be very, very destructive. So that's what we're starting to see right now. That's why the things that are happening now are happening. They're not happening because there's a difference between when you get sick in the middle of your life when you're still young and you recover to keep on going, and there's a difference between when you get sick when you're on your deathbed. At that point, you already know that you're on your way out. You're not going to recover. The problem is a lot of people here think that this place is sick and it's about to recover, not realizing that this place is sick unto death. All right, the Lord is plaguing this place unto death, not for it to recover. So yeah, what's happening is America's on the operation table, and you got these elites that are cutting in here, and they're taking this part out, and they're taking out the heart, they're taking out the organs, they're taking out the lungs, and they're trying to replace it with new ones. All right. Oh yeah, this is the artificial one that we've been working on. All right, put this back here. All right, put this in here. All right, cut this finger off, replace it with this robotic this. But they don't realize that just as you're putting all the pieces together, and then you finally sew up the body again, and then you're like, all right, let's see if it's alive, and then it's gonna start to act like it's trying to sit up, and then it's gonna die. That's what's gonna happen. That's a metaphorical way for how this place is gonna go out. These elites are basically, they've put America and the world on an operating table, and they're cutting open and replacing different parts of it with their NWO, hoping that at the end they can just sew it back up and it'll be new and the way they want it. But when they sew it back up, thinking that it's about to, now it's going to be strong, now it's going to be how we want it, it's going to collapse, it's going to die on the operating table. So that's okay. So you know what? We're like, all right, keep her on the operating table. This place is on its way out anyway. And that's a beautiful thing, because that is going to be the fulfillment. This is the last captivity that we're ever going to be in. So once this place goes, once this place is out, we're good. Next comes Yahweh's kingdom. Next comes the kingdom of heaven, and that's going to be for all eternity. So we're literally this close, and there's something that's in between us and the kingdom, and that's the tribulation period, Jacob's trouble. That's the institution of the NWO. Okay, that's so it may be something that sounds crazy. Sometimes it sounds scary, but we can't really shy away from it because we have to go through it at one point or another. And if you don't go through it, there's no way you can get to the kingdom. So you either go through it now or you go through it now, because you don't really have a choice. Time waits for no man. So it says, Daniel 2:20, Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. Verse 21, and he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. So dealing with removing kings and setting up kings, all the different kings, because kingdoms are ruled by kings. All right. Even today, you have kings. They're just referred to by different titles: presidents, prime ministers. All right, elites, because they're the true rulers of this age. And the Most High is the one who sets them up and removes them. And we know, according to the prophecies, even in the book of Daniel, it talks about the saints taking the kingdom. Right. So the Lord is going to set us up, and he's going to remove Esau out of power. And that's why he's causing Esau's kingdom to crumble. Now, the Lord isn't going to set us up over this man's kingdom, or sorry, the Lord isn't going to set us up in this man's kingdom. Meaning we're not taking out Esau so we can rule his kingdom. No, the Lord is taking him out, right? The horse and his rider. See, the Lord is taking out the kingdom and its king, and he is replacing it all new, all right, with a new one. And that's going to be the kingdom of heaven, starting with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, all right, and the 144,000, the rest of the elect and the rest of the nation. So it says here, he giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. And that's how it is that we're able to understand these prophecies and break them down and go on, so on and so forth. Of course, we're taught. Of course, we have teachers and elders and brothers to teach us and to guide us. But for you to even understand what's being taught, the Most High has to give you that wisdom. He has to open up your mind and your eyes to be able to receive what's being given. And then to eat that with your mind and to grow. And then for you to now start to give that to others. Verse 22, it says, he revealeth the deep and secret things. A lot of the things we go into, prophecies and scriptures and exposing Esau and the things that he is doing and the things that are coming, the biggest secret is the future. And the reason it's the biggest secret is because none of us have been there. Right? We're all here in the present. We've been to the past, and we're here in the present. But on a technical level, none of us have really actually been to the future. So it's a secret. And yet we're able to declare that secret because the one who created the future has revealed it to us. See, he revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth within. So the way when we go into these scriptures and we're prophesying to you, we're actually telling you the future. So you want an example of spiritual power? Well, this is an example of spiritual power. For us to be able to see and tell you what's going to happen next, what's going to happen ahead from where you are now, even though we haven't been there. All right, but really we have through the scriptures. This is Daniel 4:17. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So guess what? If Esau turned around and said, yeah, you know what? Scrap it. Yeah, forget it. We don't want to do this no more. Nope. Stop it. To cancel the plans, drop the MOTB. You know what will happen? It won't happen. Okay, because the Most High is the one ruling in the kingdom of men. So you may look at Klaus Schwab, you may look at, these elites, Jacob Rothschild and all these people out here. You may look at them, but at the end of the day, they're just a physical manifestation of the Most High's will. All their thoughts, all their agendas, all their push is controlled by the Heavenly Father on the left-hand side. So he's ruling in the kingdom of men. Guess what? Ultimately, right now, it's Esau's kingdom, but the Most High is really ruling. Everything they do, every step you take, right? Everything they do is it's like here, is controlled by the Most High. All right, just like everything we do on the right hand side is controlled by the Most High. It says, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. And now he's about to take him out of power and set up over it one that is profitable, which are the elect. Now, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 6. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. And what is Babylon? Is America. Now, why would you want to flee out of the midst of Babylon? Isn't this the land of opportunity? Isn't this the land that everybody wants to come to? The land of traffic, Ezekiel the 17th chapter, right? This is the land people want to come to. But now, you over there, you may be in the East, you may be in a European country, you may be in an African country, you may be in an Asian country, and you may be thinking, damn, I want to go to America one day. Or maybe you might have thought about that. But then now you're starting to hear people getting stabbed in broad daylight, mothers smothering their children. I mean, wild ass, crazy ass. These are things you hear in movies and TV shows, and you're starting to see that over here. They're warning about rolling blackouts. Gas is out of pocket. And all these things going on. And you thinking, I mean, maybe I'm better off just staying here. Because you may be in a third world country. You may be used to blackouts. You may be used to not having much, not being able to eat at luxury and just having to get by. You may be used to that. Now you got to ask yourself, do I want to now go to a society, go to a country where they're not used to that and they're now about to face that? No, you don't. Because in your country where you are, you're used to how things work. Everybody else that you're around for the most part is also used to that. So they know how to, they know how to deal. This place is going to be a hell hole, a hole of hell. All right, a hell hole, because these people are, they're like spoiled brats with a candy or a lollipop in their mouth, and what's getting ready to happen is about to be yanked out of their mouth, and they're gonna look at you, frown, and start crying, and they might attack you. Because these people do not know what hardship is, neither have they been prepared to deal with hardship. So they're going to deal with it the only way they know how to. And that's going to turn violent very quickly. They don't know how to think, they don't know how to plan, they don't know how to ration. They may be able to do that in this artificial society. They may think how to survive artificially, but you're not going to be facing just artificial problems. You're going to be facing real world problems. And these people don't have faith, all right, in the Most High. They don't have the understanding of being spiritual, because when you're spiritual, that drives your actions. That validates your reasoning for doing things. We don't go out and just go based off of whatever we want to do. We move based off of the scriptures. So we have a guideline. We have a book to refer back to. When we're faced with what others would call a dilemma, we know how to operate in that situation, because we go, okay, well, what do the scriptures say? And that's direction, that's order, and that's a relief. Quite frankly, if you had to make every single decision with no reference and no guidance, that'd be hard. But we can, the scriptures say that the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. So we're given the tips and tricks as to how to maneuver in this world. You want to deal with abortion, for example. Well, what do the scriptures say? I don't need to go and make a decision on my own. I know what is the right and the wrong thing to do. So I'm going to do what the right thing is. But once again, look, and when you deal with power outages, food shortages, inflation, chaos in the hood, where a lot of communities where Jake is at, look at what they are doing right now. Crime is going through the roof. Wild ass shit is going on in broad daylight. All right, in broad daylight. And so what do you think is going to happen? Just a little bit longer, just a couple more months, a couple more hardships. How do you think these people are going to behave? They're already on the verge of primitive animalistic behavior. What do you think they're going to do when there's no food? Man. So they've put you in a maze. All right, they've put you in a maze, and you barely have enough already as it is, and now they're about to take even more away from you. So this place is going to go down in flames. It's going to go down chaotically. It's going to go down in blood and violence. Violence is coming. Okay, mass violence is coming. There's no way to avoid that. So continuing in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So Why are the things that are happening now happening? Because we're at the time of the Lord's vengeance. And he's about to starve people to death. He's about to have these troops mow down people to death. Revelation, the 6th chapter. Okay, the pale horse. Second Ezra, the 16th chapter. Second Ezra, the 15th chapter. Amongst various other scriptures on judgment. That's what's getting ready to happen. That's why these things are happening. So if you want to know if they're going to stop, the answer is no. And like the individual in the video that I played earlier said, if it doesn't happen this summer, it's still going to happen. It says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that hath made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon, verse 8, is suddenly fallen. You hear that? That's the key part right there. And what should you think of? 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. Babylon is suddenly fallen. What's that? And destroyed. That's what? Sudden destruction. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. It says, how for her? Because people would say this came out of nowhere. But you know why? That's because they weren't paying attention. They'll say, well, but the year started off, you know, and all of a sudden, all these problems are here. Gas is going up. It's just going up and up and up. And people are starting to realize that these sanctions, it ain't hurting Russia, it's hurting you. All right. You're killing me softly. They're killing themselves softly. Russia's like, look, bro, we don't even got to do anything to you. You're destroying yourself. Here it is. You're dependent on their gas. You're depending on certain resources they have, but you're going to play the tough guy. No, we're going to put sanctions on this and that. Okay. Well, let's see how that works out for you. Now, instead of people to use common sense and say, hold on a second. Wait, if you know that the sanctions are not affecting Russia as much as they are affecting us, why are you still keeping it going and blaming Russia? You're the one doing the sanctions. It's like you have like in a boxing gym, you have this, I don't know what it's called, but I can describe it, right? So it looks like a ball, almost like a buoy kind of ball, and it has like a wire or a string or something keep from above and below, and you punch it and it comes back. Okay, you punch it, then it basically punches back. And if you don't get out the way, if you don't weave, if you don't move, it's going to hit you in the face. So you can imagine what these people are doing with the sanctions is that's what they're doing. They're punching it, and then the harder you hit it, the harder it comes back. So you hit it, then it hits you in the face. And then you hit it, then it hits you in the face. So instead of stopping your punches, right? I'm referring it back to these sanctions. Instead of them stopping and thinking, maybe what's another way to do this, they're just punching it harder. And they keep getting hit in the face. And people don't realize, hold on a second, maybe this might be deliberate, because anybody with common sense would say, if this is like a Pyrrhic victory. If we're taking L's and the person that we're trying to, hurt is really not getting as hurt, then maybe we should reconsider, but yet they're not. So now you got to stop and say, is this deliberate? Are they purposely doing this? With the mindset, knowing the effects, are they purposely doing this because they have somebody to blame? But once again, we're in Babylon where people don't consider even the most common of common things. Hence, common sense is not common. So it says here, verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. So what does it say here? We would have healed Babylon. So what's going on? Babylon is sick. Why? Because it's being hit with plagues. The Lord said, I will hit Egypt with plagues as before. And another name for Babylon is Egypt, aka America. So this place is sick and they cannot heal it. It's plagued with famine. It's plagued with pestilences. It's plagued with electricity outages. It's plagued with all manner. It's plagued with heat. All right. It's plagued with violence. And what we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. There's no way to solve this. Why? Because as we read before, it is the time of the Lord's vengeance. It says here, forsake her and let us go every one into his own country. And that's ultimately what's going on. These elites are they've gone from think of it like a roller coaster. It slowly goes up and up and up and up and up. Then it stops at the top, and then it drops. So that's what's happened. They've inflated and inflated and inflated and inflated and inflated, and now this thing is dropping, and they're letting it drop because that's what they want. It says, "For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. The Lord Yahweh hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord Yahweh our power." So as we can see the things that are going on now, we know according to Jeremiah 51, this place is not going to be healed. It doesn't matter what they tell you. It doesn't matter how they try to go about it. It doesn't matter even if they make it look, because they're going to start to, at some point, come in as saviors. They're going to step in and say, okay, let's present ourselves as the saviors of the world to help transition people to the new world, the ark. Okay, but guess what? Even that's not going to help you, because just when you think that, okay, it's over, that's when the worst part comes, which is going to be the complete destruction. So America is at its tipping point and is getting ready to fall over and collapse completely. And if you think that you're seeing bad things now, you have absolutely no clue what you're in for, because it's going to get much, 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 much worse before it begins to get better. This is Prisoner of Hope 144, Job 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now, I believe when you go into the word wicked, it's not actually like evil wicked. I forgot if it's what the word there is. Damn, is it something along those lines, but it goes into basically like workers. Okay, so that goes into Jake, it goes into the other nations, and they're gonna be upon him. All right. That also, you can also think about James the 5th chapter. It says here, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. And what's going to be that? What's going to be the fury of the Lord's wrath? That he's going to rain it upon him while he is eating. That's going to be that nuclear destruction. All right. Along with the Lord making his deliverance or his appearance with the chariots. Yep. This is Chayal Awar, Job 5 and 12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And it's very important that you know these precepts and you understand them, because we're about to enter into some hard, different times, difficult times. And you need to have it ingrained in your mind that no matter how bad it gets, they're not going to win. All right, that's what it says. Job 5:12, Job 20, they're not going to win. Okay, they're going to try, though it looks like it, though they're getting a lot of people and they've set up the Karagma stations and people are being led astray, and maybe almost everybody you know goes and gets it. Know that they're still not going to accomplish it. The more people take the Karagma, the closer the destruction is. Because those that are taking the Karagma is like the Lord counting, all right, get everybody here so I could destroy them. Don't miss a single one. That's why the Lord has to have it play out. That's why it has to try the whole world. But he's going to deliver his elect from it. All right, he's going to keep his elect. But always remember, the Lord is going to disappoint their devices. They're not going to win. It's not written for them to win. Revelation 15 and 2 is written for the elect to gain the victory. Okay, this is Prince of Yahweh 10, Proverbs 15 and 25. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but will establish the border of the widow. Okay, so that's what's getting ready to happen. And the ultimate proud right now is Esau Edom. All right, this devil. Okay, so we're at the point where, once again, America is at its tipping point, and you're about to see what happens once this collapse kicks in into full gear. All right, you're going to see Jacob's trouble, and you will not need to ask if we are in Jacob's trouble, because there will be no other thought that comes to mind other than this is Jacob's trouble. So I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying unto the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Until next time, shalom.